Hello, everybody. Welcome to a small, no cam, mic only series. It's not gonna be very intensive, very serious. This is more just to, come chill out at the end of the day. When I was little, I used to sit and I'm still like this, to be honest. I would have to turn on some kind of sound to go to sleep. I was never a fan of sleeping in the quiet. And I would put on videos like this with simple and relaxing visuals. Um, and, generally quiet sound. And I I would I'd find a lot of peace in that. Now I recently saw, and this is not an original idea. I'm gonna say that right now. In fact, I will find and link the creator who did this originally. I saw a guy reading uh like Reddit stories on the internet while he played survival. And I love that because I listen to those stupid AI voiceovers and I hate them. Because I can't hate them, but I don't love them either. Just because what else can AI take away, right? So I figured I'd give it a shot. I've lined up a couple of stories, and when I've reached the end of them, I'll probably end the episode. It should give about an hour of probably unedited content. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy, I guess. I hope you sleep well. that's 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 what this is mostly for. So, first off, we have one from the subreddit r/advice. It comes from user Society Fragrant 9012. And the title is My Girlfriend Won't Stop Messing with Me When I'm Asleep. Problem is what the title said. I'm 24. I've my girlfriend I've a year and a bit is 25. I love Reddit stories. They have terrible grammar. I'm someone who really struggles to go to sleep. Like, I have a strict routine that I stick to in order to get my brain to shut off and fall asleep in under an hour of trying, and I do it every night. Since the start of our relationship, my girlfriend has this habit of every time I fall asleep before her, she pokes me, bites me, rubs her hair across my face, sticks her fingers in my butt, the whole 9 yards. The moments I wake up in the middle of the night, she happens to turn over every time and say, "Oh, are you up?" And I realize that I'm waking up because she's doing something to me in my sleep. It's all playful and none of it is malicious. But today I absolutely snapped for the first time. We're off to a strong start. I personally probably would have crashed out the third night that I got woken up for some stupid and unnecessary thing. That's just me. There are no animals. Where are all of the animals? Like 3 to 4 weeks ago, I had a talk and I said something along the lines of, I know where these urges come from, and I love that you want to hang out with me. But please stop messing with me when I'm asleep. It's starting to make me feel uneasy when I try to sleep around you. And I hate the fact that my first subconscious thought when you aren't staying over is that I'm going to sleep well. That would hurt my feelings. She was very upset about this, understandably so. Not in an angry way, but in a pouty, I'm a bucket of tears type of way. I thought that was the end of it, and I figured that while it hurt to see her like that, I didn't want her to beat herself up over it. Maybe letting it sink in would be the best so she didn't do it anymore. Hmm. I mean, I don't know that I would let it sit in. Usually, okay, I'm a big advocate for strong communication in adult relationships. And usually, if you leave someone to think about, oh, that was kind of, if you leave someone to think about something, one of two things will happen. Either they are the kind of person that needs to, mull things over, right? So that they can formulate their responses and what have you. Other times, they're going to take your lack of immediate remorse or apology, especially if you've hurt their feelings, as a sign that you were just trying to hurt their feelings. Does that make sense? What I personally like to do, I like to, cast my rod, say, hey, I think we need to talk about this. You know, if they're not ready, usually, you know, someone who's willing and ready to talk, and if they're not even someone who is willing to hear you out eventually, they can't hear you now. Or is it okay if we talk about tomorrow or after I have time? The important thing is though is that I made it clear that I'm talking. I don't want to leave it. And then just, go from there. Be respectful. A big problem people run into, especially when communicating through problems, is they'll resort to like defensive behavior and, calling each other names. Just that's all. Keep in mind, someone who loves you is never going to insult you in the heat of an argument. Your future husband or wife and call you some mean name because they're mad at you. I'll never accept, oh, I was said it in the heat of the moment. Absolutely not. Never said it. Just get away with being. Anyway, continue. Fast forward to tonight. I fell asleep for the first time in ages and I'm going to get like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Hang on when the dog woke up. I woken up less than an hour into my sleep to her poking me in my Easter and rubbing her hair across my face, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And she started laughing and proceeded to sing and say my name over and over to pest me, and I lost it. I didn't yell, I didn't insult her. I just said something. Why does it bring you so much joy and amusement to fuck with me? I can't feel comfortable trying to sleep around you. I feel awful, but it's true. I don't feel comfortable falling asleep before her now. And because I know that if she wakes up in the middle of the night, she's going to fuck with me, I don't feel comfortable sleeping next to her at all. I don't really know what to do. I don't want to blow things out of proportion, but sleep deprivation does bad things to people. What do I do? Yeah. Wow. Okay, so there's a couple of. It's good that he, again, obviously, he didn't swear at her, he didn't her out. And stronger than I am. I would have probably said something mean on accident. But, and I say that as though, like, I would never swear at someone. I would have probably been a little bit less polite than what he did say. Also, that is a really good question. He's expressed and tried to make a boundary. If they've been together, they've been for a year and over, like a little bit over a year. You should know that he has struggles with his sleep and that it takes him to fall asleep. And then she's going out of her way to bother him. So a blatant disregard for quality of sleep. That's just not kind at all. And this is causing him a lot of stress. The first comment is she's sleep torturing me. OP responded, shit, I don't know if it's torture, but it's definitely not pleasant. The main thing that's making me worried is about if we've been dating long enough that the conversations of moving in together is going. And there's no way of doing that. And he was met with a resounding do not move in with. So that commenter isn't really wrong on like path. Sleep deprivation is very real and very common form of torture, which sucks for for OP because that put this relationship possibly sooner rather than later. No one likes to hear, but with such blatant disregard for his health and well-being, all for something selfish and whatever. Absolutely. I've lived my life by a Pirates of the Caribbean quote. That being Silent Sheep. That being bad luck to wake asleep. But I think it's bad luck to wake anyone who needs rest. You know, less bad luck in a superstitious way and bad luck for like furthering a positive relationship with them. People are generally not happy to wake up. So, you know, intending on waking up. I get it if it's an just doing completely unfair. I hope finds it in himself to, value himself. A lot of people struggle with the idea that, partners matter more to them than themselves. That can never be the case. I was like that once, and, you know, it never works out. It wasn't relationship as even, but that behavior that's setting yourself up for, being taken advantage. So remember, kids, always put yourself first. You have to live with yourself forever. Have to live with yourself forever. Able to be comfortable with yourself forever is just not gonna get easy. And let me take a moment to talk about shaders. These are the Bliss shaders. I love how they look underwater. That's gorgeous. And that little animation, water clearing over the screen. Uh, yeah, this is definitely not good for OP. OP. Hope that he does some to get himself to a safer place. I have this one. This is Am I the asshole not replacing a toy? I need, something less relationshipy after the last one. My daughter Willow, 8F, just spent the last few days looking for a squishmallow that she said was missing. I figured she just lost it because she takes it everywhere with her, and we have a rule that we don't replace things, especially toys, if they get lost, to keep our kids accountable for their stuff. My son, Jace, 12, can help to look for. Ooh. Last night, Jace admitted he took it and gave it to a girl that he loved. No. I was a bit frustrated since all this time looking for it was a waste, but he's just a kid, so we talked it out. My husband made me contact the girl's mom to try and get it back, and the girl's mom refused because her daughter won't go and she won't pay for a replacement, that being $20. Luke keeps begging me to get it back, and I told her no because of our no replacement rule and the fact that mom won't pay for it, and she threw a fit. I'm standing firm and won't get a new one. He has other toys anyways. My husband took her side and says my son is at fault, but he's young and now he knows it's wrong. I don't want to punish him more. Plus, he doesn't have his own money. Holy favoritism. Excuse me? Now hold on a second. This whole rule that she has set up is to keep her kids accountable for their things. But the daughter didn't lose the Squishmallow toy. It was stolen from her. So why is she being punished for being stolen from? And why on God's green earth are we not punishing the 12-year-old boy for stealing his little sister's toy, lying about it? And then, I mean, she's 8. She's way more responsible than other 8-year-olds if she's been able to, if the way that she ended up losing it was theft. You know how many toys I lost just because I was plain irresponsible? I mean, I get what they're trying to teach their kids. It is important to teach accountability and that kind of thing. Oh, there's a zombie. He's dying. And that's an unpleasant sound. I'm going to run from it. I get what they're trying to teach their kids, but this is just senseless. So, let's open it up. Let's see some of the comments here. First comment. You are the asshole. Your son took something that wasn't his and gave it away. That's stealing, not losing. Willow deserves her toy replaced by him. A responder said, agreed. So because of a rule about if something gets lost, this 8-year-old little girl has a toy stolen from her by her brother and it can't be replaced? What the? I'm not gonna write what I'd like to say to this OP. I don't feel it getting banned. Not a single brain cell or moral compass is inside. Another commenter said, you're the asshole, you're punishing your daughter with your accountability rule. She did nothing wrong. Your son stole from his sister and he needs to be held accountable. These are all things I really, truly, and honestly agree with. I mean, I don't know how anyone could come to a. Oh! I don't know how anyone could come to a different conclusion, to be honest. Absolutely. These are so not common anymore. Ooh, I did not remember. Ooh, saddle gold. Heard that, right? What's that? Hmm? Hmm? Yeah, I don't ever know. There's like a code to this. I don't know. I'm just gonna break into the floor like a normal and quite civilized person would. To get to that. Yes, perfect, perfect. Yep. Okay. This has been successfully raided. Yeah, I don't know. I think that mom has to be like rage baiting or something. Surely no reasonable individual is actually going to come conclusion like that, right? I mean, like, she can't. You'd think. Maybe I'm soft, but I don't know. I feel like it's wrong. We're actually gonna hole up here. Yep. Make it look all nice. And we'll place our bed, like, right up here. Perfect. Okay. Let's get another story going. Am I the asshole for asking my wife to get a paternity test? Oh, a paternity test? Like, he wants a paternity test, or he's asking her to get. Okay, I should just read it. Yeah, so this is relevant. 2 years ago, Katie, 32 female, and I, 36 male, had our first child, Dane, female. Dane is the best son any father could wish for, and I couldn't be prouder. Dane is the best son any father could wish for, and I couldn't be proud. But here's where things get a little money. I, like the rest of our generation, am a man of the internet. And inevitably, I've seen some stuff about men's rights, including posts from heartbroken men about rampant paternity. Did you know 30% of women lie about who fathered their kids? Listen, did you know that 83% of statistics completely made up? Anyway, as a newish dad, that stuff did alarm me. And I'll admit, I went into a bit of a dark place. Because, well, I get on well enough with my in-laws. They're pleasant people, but something about them has always seemed off. Like my wife's mother, Peggy, is a very attractive woman, despite being in her 50s. I can see where Katie gets it from. They both have dark, thick hair and blue eyes. Katie is often compared to Alexandra Daddario. Alexandra Daddario. Peggy is the spitting image, for city miles on her face and cleavage, which sounds bad, but you only notice them if you're really looking. Meanwhile, my father-in-law, Ian, looks like a Quentin Blake illustration of Trenchfoot. Oh, but he's generally a good guy, and I respect him. Before people start saying it's not always about looks, I thought of that. I asked Katie about her dad's salary. Katie seemed unsurprised and said her dad wanted to be a stay-at-home dad because Peggy was making so much money in corporate law. This is not going... What? Okay, anyway. I kept my thoughts to myself, but on our most recent visit, I casually suggested that it'd be fun to whack out the family photo album. My god, it was carnage. Even with post-baby pudge, Peggy's glamour gleamed through the sepia tint. Meanwhile, my boy Lane was more akin to an alopecia mastiff in gardening shorts. No, is it Lane or Ian? I don't know. I asked Peggy if her job in corporate law ever required business trips. She said sometimes. Then, Lane invited me to the old coin collection, and I spent 15 minutes in his and Peggy's bedroom, hunched over his plastic folders and listening to him make jokes like, I think you kids will find this proper mint. I quickly realized that as much as I respect my father-in-law, the penniless cuck has never fucked in his life. This, combined with all my other evidence, put me in an impossible position. This is really not going in the direction that I thought it was going. On the car ride home, I floated to Katie that she should order a paternity test. After some initial hysteria, I calmly explained that I meant for her and Lane, not me and Dane. I have no doubts about Dane's paternity because I'm attractive with inherited wealth. I'm sorry? Sadly, Katie did not want to listen to my reasoning and refused one of the 2 cotton swabs I had in my pockets. She dropped me home, and she and Dane have been living with her parents ever since. Am I the asshole? I was just looking out for a bro. And why would Katie refuse a test unless she has something? Is she trying to protect her cheating mom? See, this is just not at all where I thought it was going. I thought he was gonna be some paranoid about, you know, his own baby, but the paternity of his wife and his wife's father. That's weird, isn't it? I feel like that's not his business. Like I get like homies protecting homies and all, but at the same time, that's weird. I'm sorry. That's just not a normal thing to be invested in. I feel like Godspeed to Ian? Question mark Lane? Whatever his name is. Hope hope his daughter's his daughter. What? The top comment is OMG. You also saw the house episode where he makes up the myth of 25% of fathers are raising the child of another man unknowingly, with no citations by the scriptwriters. I've heard men's rights activists seriously quote these kinds of figures about paternity fraud, and I don't know how you'd find stats like this without DNA testing half of the population. This one says you are the asshole for bringing the swabs. Obviously, it's the woman's job to coordinate any paternity tests. All the men should need to do is request one and then get back on the computer and wait for the results to come in. So this has to be a shit, I think. I don't think this is sincere or legitimate at all. Okay. So, we're gonna move on to the next one. This one's also about parents. Let's see. First, I'm actually chest. Start cooking the rest of this meat. I am gonna want. And actually, I think I'll put the mine in this little place. Oh, arrows. Didn't even know that. Oh, whatever. It's good that we have string. Little bundle. All of my stuff in there. So we'll wait for this to cook as I read this next one. Am I the asshole for calling the police on my mother-in-law bringing in peanuts into my house? Okay, okay, let's just for a second. Could be an allergy. There's just like a real sincere phobia mixed. You never know. I, female 27, have a severe peanut allergy. Okay. Even a trace can send me to the hospital. But my husband and I agreed our house would be a 100% peanut free zone. Everyone in the family knows that. The problem is my mother in law. She loves peanuts and doesn't take my allergy seriously. Keeps saying things like, just don't eat them, or you're overreacting, despite me asking her times not to. She still brings peanuts into the house and eats them when she visits. See, the problem with this is it's a severe allergy, and severe allergies should never be not taken very seriously. I mean, it can kill someone. And also, you don't need peanuts every hour of the day. You're not eating it like you don't have to eat them when you visit someone with a peanut allergy. Eat them after, eat them before. You don't have to eat them during the visit. Last week, while my husband was away, she came over unannounced with a bag of roasted Okay. See, this, listen, this has to, like, that has to be sincere, like, intentional, right? I told her she had to leave them outside, but she ignored me and opened them in my living room. I was furious and honestly scared because if any residue got on the surfaces or food, I could have had a serious reaction. See, this is already very. I feel can't call this an overreaction. Kind of serious. It's not to be, crazy, right? Kind of like a life or death situation. And personally, I would hate to be taken out by roasted peanuts, you know? I feel like that's not a great way to go. Um, I called the police and explained the situation. My mother-in-law was taken in for questioning. And now my sister-in-law is telling me I overreacted and that I embarrassed the family and I should have just ignored it or cleaned up after mother-in-law left. Absolutely not. That's just strong arming into silence. My bad, guys. Oops. I called the. Okay. Yeah, no. I was trying to say I can't. That's just mean. I mean, it's very serious. Opika die, and someone was repeatedly bringing something that could kill me into my house, and not like passively. No, not like actively. A gun or something that people actually use to commit heinous violence, right? I mean, like something I could come into contact, never know that I came into contact with, and just be. I wouldn't love that. Not gonna lie. I feel like it can't be. I don't know that I would call it attempted murder, but it is definitely abusive behavior. It should be such. Not probably. Should definitely be treated as such. So, um, it's just insane. So, people should always take medical things very seriously. I feel like that's given. Oh, but whatever. Okay. Here we have. Am I the ass for giving my boyfriend an ultimatum after his dog sent me to the ER? This one caught my attention. I know some with some react. I had to not to call myself an expert with animal handling or anything, but I have taken classes. Did previously own a dog sitting business that specialized in reactive dogs. Not to toot my own horn, but I don't know. I just feel like it hurts me to know that sometimes it does lie in the hands of the owner to keep their dog safe from attacks. Not another dog attacking their dog, but their dog attacking someone. Oh, that's a new dog sound. Get some of these pumpkins. Surprised they added new dogs. A poor. Oh, crap. So, firstly, I love dogs. I love animals as a whole, but my safety comes before them. As it should. As it should. My boyfriend and I have been now living together for 7 months. Um, When he met me, he lived alone with a 5-year-old Belgian Malinois. For those who don't know this breed, it's a police dog used in K9. When my boyfriend brought the idea to me about living together, I was concerned about having such a large dog who was apparently trained to attack a guard dog. My boyfriend told me at the time he lived in an area where he was burglarized twice, and since then got the dog for protection and trained him to be ruthless. That's, I fear, on the owner. That dog hurts someone, it's going to have to be put down, unless it can be proven that there was some kind of instigation or attack that prompted the dog to act. That's a reason that legally you cannot set traps for people if you know that they're coming to rob you. It is illegal to set traps to catch them that would cause them physical harm in any way. Because it makes it seem like you were setting up to harm someone. It's a weird law. But this applies here, especially with a dog. You can't train a dog to attack and then expect it not to be put down if it attacks someone. If a dog acts in defense of you and you have proof that it did not attack first, then you're fine. But if you can't prove it, there's a really good chance that you'll lose your dog. That's the unfortunate way of the world. I was obviously uncomfortable with this information. I would be too. I told him he would need to be in his cage inside of my apartment until the dog gets used to me. Okay, socialization, Let me try and get back. There it is. Thought I wouldn't be able to find it for a minute. Scared. He agreed and moved in. I have since then fed the dog on my own in the mornings, allowed him to smell me, and give him a sit command in his cage. He has not shown me any aggression. He has walked several times a day, but I know keeping this kind of dog in a cage is not. We plan to purchase a home together with a yard so he can roam free. Unfortunate financial burdens we have to postpone this plan. To get to the point, last weekend I was on my balcony when my boyfriend said he was going to bring the dog out on the balcony to get air. I was fine with this. I decided to go inside to grab a blanket when the dog came out of the cage and charged at me. That's not... who would have guessed? My back was turned, and he bit down onto my ass. When I screamed, he let go and bit down again. It happened so fast that I was in shock. My boyfriend, of course, grabbed him and put him back in the cage and came to my aid. Blood was everywhere. This dog is going to end up put down. A dog cannot draw blood on someone unprompted without being... Blood was everywhere, and I was in such shock that I didn't realize. My boyfriend rushed me to the ER. When I got into the bed, I said to him, "You either move out and take your dog with you. It's me or it's him." He was absolutely apologetic. He kept repeating that no one is going to take aggression. He doesn't want to put him down. I reminded him that we want a family one day. Home with my children scared. We would need a family dog that's good for people, especially kids. What if it was my face the dog had attacked? What if it was his child? All of this happened 4 days before my 30th. Devastating. Wow. This is completely different. Belgian Malinois in particular are not easy dogs to have by any means. They're actually a very difficult dog breed. Never unless you experience with dogs, because absolutely patient. Your dog up your whole house, or animals in your unsavory stuff. Oh, unsavory stuff you do with. Everyone wants like a guard dog, black dog, but there's a responsibility and intense training. I really mean intense training that goes having a dog for guard dog purposes. You can't just get a dog, teach it to and call it a day. That is not how it is how you train your dog. So sad. But yeah, no. For the dog to have known her, tracked her, that's what could argue babies, people react dangerous level reactivity. There are a billion things that would be the end of it. He is the and to the dog. He did a disservice for training aggression with knowing how to control it temporarily. Look up Malinois Rescue. That is the correct. There's not a lot that can be done for a dog that's been trained and socialized that way without it being a rescue. It's not the dog, it's the bad. Almost never the dog. You know, OP needs to get rid of it. And the dog. People crapping on OP. Open to boyfriend of the dog. When my boyfriend brought the idea to me, plus I trained him to be ruthless, plus my he got kicked out of his place because he wouldn't or couldn't control his aggression. There are a billion things that went wrong with this poor dog. Okay. Twins are always an interesting, at least in my opinion. I wanted to be a twin when I was little so bad. I don't even know why. I feel like I would get excited with being a twin really quick. Anyway, this next from a twin. Title is Am I the asshole for pulling away from my identical twin sister, even though I know that it's title? I, 18F, am an identical twin. Parents encouraged an insanely close to the point of codependency relationship. Yikes. And also weird. And my sister fell hard into it while I resented the hell out of it. Parents even named us super similarly. Weird. That's really strange. My sister is Katie and I'm Casey. And the spelling of my name was chosen. My parents wanted us to always. My parents and sister always expected us to do everything. We shared a bedroom and a bed our whole lives until that's when I packed up my stuff. House. My parents insisted that every school we went to, we had them. Here. When we had field trips, we were to be each other's buddy. One was invited to a birthday party, then the other seemed to be invited too, regardless of whether they were or not. All our extracurriculars were the same, fucking miserable to me. Because I hated them, they were all my sister's interests. And I could kind of see where the resentment comes. And why the sister was so entrenched in it. This one really wasn't. If I was know, be with someone all day who didn't having fun or not. Yeah, no, I mean, I probably also really go to it would feel otherwise. Oh, Rita, don't die. Okay, anytime I tried to set boundaries, my sister, she'd discard them and would carry on as normal. That's so mean. And normal for us was being codependent and super in mess. I was never close to our parents, but I gave up on ever having a good relationship with my sister. They actually accused me of bullying because I wanted to keep a friend to myself. That's how bad things were. Holy cow. Are they aware they're not listening? That's really concerning. That's some kind of abuse. Not to be one of those people that calls everything abuse, but definitely, this is definitely abuse. My sister has always hated when someone liked me and wanted to be my friend, but didn't like her or want to be her friend. My sister were one and the same. You like one, you like both. She doesn't see us as our own individual people, just as twins. Identical twins who are alike in every single way possible. I remember being in the hospital when I was 14. I wasn't able to stay with me. Removed from the hospital for abusing. I was released after 2 days, and those were the best nights of sleep I had until. I also felt like I got some breathing in. My sister never. It was an absolute mess. Definite. Goodness gracious. That's all kinds of terrible. We were supposed to go to the same school together, and our parents planned on bringing admin to our school of choice roommates. Then I acted like I wasn't going to college. I stayed with my family, or me and my friend went to a community college. I just started. Got a job too, so I can support myself. So mighty. I did unblock my sister. It's been awful. Debated whether I'd block her again or not, but if I do, I know it'll be a problem. There's no doing it for now. Block her again. Not to. She fell apart without me. I already dropped out of college. Needed for me to with me. Our parents used to call me awful sister who needs me. They said I'm being abusive. Accuse me of trying to kill her with it. I can see her downward spiral, but I can't. Why the ass? What in what? What kind? Oh, hello, Diamond. Kind of culty. When that's an action. That should be the plot of an actual horror movie. I mean, are you kidding? You just don't get to be your own person because when? That's I mean, really, truly strange. Love extra. See, for the longest time, I would just not book the extra, and I would have missed. Not that I haven't. I definitely would. So that's, jeez, that's insane. Really hope. I hope Opie's sister can realize that she's her own person, because that also, like, your entire sense of self is someone else. I mean, that would drive me stupid. Ow. I can't. I'm scared. Perfect. Took me a minute. Not even. Oh, you're used to having full bright. Right there, is that? It is. Oh, and diamonds. So, I would lose my mind. I hope they get help. We've got our next. Am I the ass asking my girlfriend to please stop wearing makeup? Set. A little bit of, but you know, by this time, right? I should. I-25 male, this sound holding. Please hear me out. When my skin gets into contact with my face, some bit of red rash on the skin. Face. I also have to change the pillowcases she likes. I like her. I continue having a boing boing with her. I explained my situation to her. But please stop wearing makeup. She still called me controlling. She says she looks bad without makeup. I disagreed and I told her she looks beautiful. She just got angrier. Am I the asshole? I don't really think anyone's necessarily an asshole in this situation. I think you're allowed to. Doing the devil's tango. But I think the conversation more turned to why she's like prettier with me. I know a lot of girls and that's really sad actually, but it should never really shouldn't be such a big self-image that I think the conversation this one it is ultimately your ability to put into but I think the solution will be found if they're more focused on I feel like that'll be more focused. Yes. First comment is not the asshole. Allergic reactions are a valid reason to ask for accommodation by a rational partner. Her insecurity about her appearance is something she should, but you've been nothing but kind in your request. Makeup isn't a requirement, but your health is. You might consider dating someone who takes your health more seriously than their appearance. While I agree, I feel like immediately jumping to a breakup for something like this is not like it definitely pales in comparison to like the sleeping one. It's not yes it is contact dermatitis sucks. You know, skin irritation as a result of coming into contact with an allergen. It's not pleasant. You know, it can be itchy, it can be painful in bed, and all kinds of things. But at the same time, I don't think like the first time you bring this up should, you know, that it should be assumed that she doesn't care about physical health or anything. I know that a lot of people kind of would take that as it were and say that, you know, he was being cruel or unreasonable. But I just disagree. I feel like, you know, it's normal to be insecure, and if they just talk it out, you know, gradually help her to feel more secure in self and that everything end up quite nice. That's just me though. Okay, top 13 diamonds. I'm good. We've also quite a few stories. This is a good one. Girlfriend said I'm not her. I've been there. That sucks. I've been dating my girlfriend for a few years. Picking up a conversation, she mentions within the context that I'm not her type. Pretty surprising to me. And she goes on to say that she isn't into guys with curly hair like mine. Ouch. She didn't provide further clarification, but what does this mean? I feel pretty hurt. Should I ask her why she's with me if I'm not her type? Also, should I ask besides curly hair what else she means when I'm not her type? See, this is the kind of conversation just reason. First two comments are really kind of nail on the head. First one says beginning of the end. And then the second one is it's surprising to me that you're unsure whether you should communicate your feelings to your partner of several years. Of course you should, you always should. Perhaps she meant that before she dated you, she was mostly attracted to you with a certain type of beauty, aka the curly hair, and then she found you attractive even though you didn't have said type of beauty. You can always, of course, ask her and tell you how you feel. Communication is the very strong pillar of any healthy relationship. If you can open a solid, reliable, and trusted line of communication with a partner, or even a friend, anyone that you want to have a valuable, long-term, even like a romantic one, a relationship, it's important that you communicate with one. It is the easiest way to maintain that you are on the same page the entire time. However, a comment like that would really get to me. Be completely transparent and honest. I'm not sure how I would cope with being told something like that. It would definitely hurt my feelings. Is it daytime? It is. And there are zombies afoot. Take my diamonds. And I'm gonna make a diamond pickaxe. And with what I have left, a chest plate, and I'm gonna keep those 2 diamonds for making an enchanting table. Now that I've made it back though, I think I'm out of my stories and I have just hit an hour. I thank you for tuning in. I hope this was, you know, somewhat. Have a great night. And I'll see you next time. Bye.